What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN Game Scoop. I'm your host, Damon Hadfield. Joining me this week is Justin Davis,
Scoop.
Sam Claiborne,
Let's check in with the Jareds.
and very special guest, Jared Petty.
Scoop, scoop,
joining
scoop!
us here.
Yay!
Welcome back to the show, Jared.
Thank you for having me, Damon.
We hung out a little bit at E3. You were doing a little work for us at E3.
We hung out a lot.
Yeah, we hung out quite a bit. Y'all let me steal your Wi-Fi. That was
Yeah.
fun.
It was like 3 solid Jared days.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was writing some previews for IGN and doing some other stuff at the show, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And so we decided, let's have you back on Game Scoop very soon, and the day has come. Jared is back. We've got a great show for you this week. We're going to be sharing the games we've been playing. We will be flipping through the July 1991 issue of Electronic Gaming Monthly.
Ooh.
Because this is where you get
But it's
all
not
the
July
latest
yet.
and hottest gaming news. Oh, the reason for that, Sam, is because we're going to be off next week.
Dun, 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 dun.
Off next week. I'm taking the back half.
I told
of the
you
week
I
off.
would run the show
too.
from Kansas.
We got run the show from Kansas.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can talk about that.
We're going on vacation together again.
Dustin the win the show right there. Dustin this wins.
But probably not going to the same place though, unless you're going up north
What, to the Arctic?
to the Arctic, to the North Pole. I hear it's lovely this time of year.
No, where are you going on vacation? That's
Just up to
exciting.
Napa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
that's a
no penguins in the North Pole. Do you know that? They're all in the southern hemisphere.
They are indeed.
Yeah.
And the San Francisco Zoo.
Polar bears. And puffins.
You got the puffins.
Don't call a puffin a penguin.
No.
Not the same.
It's actually pretty
I
insulting.
learned that from my Icelandic friends.
Yep.
It's just offensive.
But first, it is that time of year once again.
Puffin
ladies
talk.
and gentlemen.
Tough scoop.
Time to check in with Game of the Year Watch.
Ooh.
2018 edition. Roll the. Okay.
That's just a little ditty I made up.
I just want to roll straight into the Bubble Man
catchy.
music from there.
It's catchy.
Yeah, it is. Shows just this for 45 minutes.
I've been playing a lot of Mega Man recently.
A lot of Mega Man 4.
I've been playing 4. I beat 2 and 3 over the weekend.
Did you play into that Mega Man 11 at E3?
I played it before E3.
Ah,
I played it at E3.
I liked Mega Man 11. It was
Mega
fun.
Man 11 is looking good.
Yep.
But as for Game of the Year Watch 2018, there are 6 games. No, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, 6 games that have gotten a 9 or higher from IGN this year. Of course, we gave a little indie game a 10 this year. We gave God of War a 10
Oh, okay.
this year.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Look at that.
And also Celeste. Celeste is the second 10 we've given out this year. Of course, we've talked a lot about both these games, especially God of War. It's nothing new that we all really, really like that game, really impressed with it. Then, of course, there's not the other 9s are nothing really new recently. It's Monster Hunter World with a 9.5, Subnautica with a 9.1. It's a PC game, some kind of a simulation underwater, I think. Meh. Into the Breach is a turn-based, roguelike turn-based strategy game from the FTL guys, which
That's
is very,
the
very
Bugs
good.
versus Robots,
Yeah.
FTL.
And FTL/Advance Wars.
Yeah, yeah.
Fun-
It's really good. It's great.
Plandathu, would you like to know more? That's right.
I have yet to actually check it out, but that's got Justin Game written all over it.
That one's very cool. And then there's Frostpunk, another game that looks very cool. I hope it escapes the PC at some point.
I have not played Frostpunk.
Are you aware?
No, I know
It's a
nothing about Frostpunk.
Post-apocalyptic, like town sim game where you have to keep your town like surviving in these horribly frigid, freezing temperatures.
Jared Crack. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
sort of like a little bit like a Banished meets StarCraft.
Sold.
meets- Yeah.
Yep, I'm in.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Need to play this.
Dude, God of War, man.
Dude, God of War. I mean, that's obviously the front runner for Game of the Year, right?
Because a lot of people played it.
Yeah, I
No, I mean,
think-
it's
Because
just-
it's the best game of the year.
I don't think so. But
You don't think so?
What do
You
you
really
think's
don't
best
think
game of the
you don't think it is the best?
I
What do you
haven't
think
played
it is?
any good games this year.
You haven't played any good games.
But I haven't played Celeste yet.
Celeste
on.
is really good.
You haven't played any good games. Everything you've played is below a 7.
I'd have to listen to old Game Scoops.
What about Bloodstained Curse of the Moon?
Yeah, that game was all right.
Yeah, it was all right.
That game is awesome.
Let's not focus on my disappointment with this year's games at this point.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like you're being too hard
Really?
on 2018 games.
Well, I think everybody really liked God of War, and I didn't. So
Yeah, but aside from that, there's nothing that you think is even good this year? Not Yoku's Island Express?
What about the delights of Minute, perhaps?
I haven't played Minute.
Minute's really good.
Yeah.
It's on the list.
Yeah, Minute's. Oh, really? Is it?
No, it's on the list of things I need to play.
Yeah, Minute's. That's like 2 hours of your life totally worth spending. Yeah.
Before so everyone in the office got God of War early, but me. I was like the lone person.
Oh, did you get it afterwards?
Well, I mean, I was still like right there at like the launch window.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that was, we actually had pretty early access to that game, and I just thought for sure that had a game that had victim of its own hype written all over it. Like it had been built up and built up. It got a 10 from us and everyone else. Like one of the best reviewed games of the generation, and I was positive that like, okay, it's going to be really good, maybe even great. But come on, really? And then I'm super happy to have been proven wrong. I absolutely love it. It's one of my, it's probably my personal favorite character action game, maybe ever.
Like of the Uncharted ilk, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You throw it in with Uncharted? I don't think I.
Well,
Well,
I
I'm
think
just
a
saying like
character
that,
action.
Bayonetta, Uncharted, God of War, those sorts of third person melee.
Tomb Raider?
Yeah. So I think it's the pinnacle of that level of game design, and just the sheer level of spectacle and the stuff that's on display is just jaw-dropping, delivered on every front.
Yeah, even though there was so much hype, as I began my playthrough, we'd already given it a 10. I was still like constantly like, I can't believe how good this game is.
If you go back and see my tweets, I'm like, play the first couple hours of God of War, it's really good. And then I'm like, wow, this game is excellent. And then like it gets better over time. Like usually I've had my fill of a game. And I'm like, okay, like I'm through with the game before the game's over. And then God of War is the opposite. I just couldn't get enough. I just thought it got better and better.
My experience this year has been very different from Sam's in that I feel like I've gotten a lot of really solid, good games this year, along with a few great standouts. I do consider God of War a great game, among some other games I played this year. But I've also been very happy with kind of that week to week. A lot of stuff on Switch, a lot of stuff that's smaller stuff on PlayStation that I've just really liked this year.
Super Burger Time.
I like Super Burger Time.
I do too.
I sat the other night playing Wizard Fire. I don't know why.
That's another weird one.
That's another weird one. I kind of like weirder Gauntlet. But
Gauntlet.
I did like the quality of the writing in God of War more than anything. That's what I enjoyed about it. So it very rarely felt like video game writing, which has kind of a cadence to it. They really made some bold moves in the writing department that I thought elevated that game along with very good gameplay. I just went back to Celeste. For the first time in a long time.
Which I need to, because I played several hours but never finished it.
Guess what? Celeste's still real good.
Yeah.
And made me go, wow, as much as I love God of War and as revolutionary as it is, Celeste deserved its 10. I 20 minutes back with it made me go, wow, this was a great video game. So I haven't made up my mind what my game of the year is yet. Those two are very high in the running. There's a couple other things that play in and out at this point. I think it's too early for me to predict. I'll spend several days making this decision when the time rolls around. But both of those definitely deserve to be in the conversation. But I think, like I said, I respect Sam's opinion that this hasn't been the year he's looking for. But I've been very happy. And then you get weird stuff like Subspace Circular popping up on Switch or things like that.
I haven't heard of that one.
Okay, so there's a Sam ass game there.
Is that the robot?
Yeah,
Zombie
that's
game?
a Samus game?
Samus game. I've been meaning to play that.
That's a
Metroid?
Mike Bethel game. The guy that did the dude that did Thomas Was Alone. It's like a 2-hour storytelling narrative, almost pseudo-text adventure game.
That's
really
what
cool.
you're riding on the subway with, and you're a robot. Is that the game?
Subspace Circular?
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil too much about it because if you say, it's like a 2-hour game, so I don't want to say too much about it, but it's neat. Yeah.
I think I want to clarify that I didn't like God of War as much as other people, but I think it's an amazingly crafted game.
Okay.
Like the writing, I think you're exactly right. The acting and the writing is so good in that game. It's just not what I want to play games to do.
Yeah.
I want to watch Netflix for that.
What do you want to play games to do right now?
Explore.
Oh, okay. Well, there has been less opportunity for that. You're right. Thankfully, Red Dead 2 is coming. Yay, explore.
Yeah.
There is exploration in Far Cry 5.
Yeah, that's true.
I was disappointed.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were. I liked it a lot.
You still recommend it?
I recommend it.
Even if you're disappointed with it, would you still give it a whirl?
Well, I mean, it's such a nitpick, but like not really. Like I played on PC and on Steam, it didn't have like native Steam controller support, and Steam just relies on the community. It's like you download, like there'll be like 10 controller options, and some guy's like, okay, like I mapped the game to be like it is on the Xbox, but it was like there was no brakes in cars. And I'm like, how is this a AAA game from a major studio on a major platform that just like they just didn't build in, and like that
Like
was
you can only roll to a stop.
well, like
Or hit a tree.
They're just relying on like community mapped controls, and I was like, and then I downloaded it the next day, And the guy's like, okay, like there was a new profile that had been voted up, controller mapping profile. And the guy said, okay, this is mapped like that other game is, but now you can break in your car, but you can't switch weapons with your D-pad. Oh. And I'm just like, why? Like, why? It was just, I was just flabbergasted that like that was a thing on PC. Yeah. But even outside of that, the game didn't, that was just like the cherry on whatever the pie of like, this game's not for me.
I liked it.
Yeah. Another thing to remember, and here's a surprising thing. I'm on Scoop. I'm going to talk about old games. It's been a great year for everything new is old again and everything old is new again.
Yeah.
Really, I don't need other games because Ikaruga's on Switch. And
Ikaruga.
Yeah. Street Fighter 30th has been a delight.
That collection is very cool.
Oh, yeah. It's great. It's just all the arcade Street Fighters with really loving emulation. I mean, down to some crazy features like if you have 8 switches, you can play the tournament mode with 8 players that one of the machines offered. And
cool.
But beyond that, just going back and playing 12 and that is 12 or 11 of the best fighting games ever and one really terrible one all in one package.
Yeah,
Which one's a terrible one?
The first one, Street Fighter 1.
Just Street Fighter.
Yeah, Street Fighter is not a good game. I played it in the arcade when I was a kid, and from the decision to have pressure controlled buttons. You know, how do you deliver a harder punch? Hit the button harder. That's a great idea. But it's also just janky. It's not smooth at all.
Have you guys seen that? It's a pneumatic controlled button. Like those games are so not around right now. It's really hard to see or play what Street Fighter actually felt like.
I played a Street Fighter 2 arcade machine that was rigged up that way.
Oh, wow. Use it like they had just modified it?
It had one punch and one kick button that you had to hit it for light, medium, and heavy.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even know you could do that with a board conversion.
I don't know if it was modified or if that was just a limited run official thing or not. I mean, I was a kid, right? So
that's how Street Fighter 1 was at first. And then they added just regular controls after they just broke. You know, you had to punch a giant, basically balloon.
The news
really silly.
But talking about like solid games, just kind of, I mean the new BlazBlue game, the new BlazBlue Cross fighting game that's kind of like designed to be baby's first fighter, but has like all the Persona guys. Usually fighting games have gotten so inaccessible; they're only for fighting game people. And so it's like, what if we just made a fighting game that anybody can sit down and play, and it's still fun and tactical,
like Dropkick,
huh? Like Dive Kick?
Dive
yeah,
Kick,
but instead of being one hit based, it feels more like Street Fighter 2 type. It's just like, oh, wait, here's a game that you can sit down and learn the controls in 5 minutes, and all your friends are going to be on roughly equal footing for the first several hours. And that hasn't happened a lot in fighting games in a while. So there's just so many really neat creative things happening right now. But Game of the Year stuff, I think for me, it's still going to be between God of War and Celeste right now. But this fall may completely blow that up.
Well, sure. Totally. Yeah. I mean, like, most of the heavy hitters of the year are yet to come. It's true.
I'm looking forward to so many games.
Yeah. Also,
very
Play
soon
Minute.
now.
Play Minute. Because
you need to play Minute. You need to check that out. What about Monster Hunter World?
I like Monster Hunter games. I didn't give World the time it deserved. That happened at a time when I was launching a business. And so World did not get nearly the time it deserved from me. Everybody I know that spent time with it. Actually, I have a friend that runs a YouTube channel around World and is still playing it. And I never ceased to be amazed by how much TLC went into it and the fact that it's continuing to get support. But I don't know if I'm ever going to give World the 100-hour shrift it really deserves.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it too. I liked it a lot, sunk many an hour into it, but then just kind of fell off and don't really feel the drive to go back to it. Whereas like God of War, like that game pulled me through from beginning to end. You know, I played it every night nonstop until I beat it.
I actually divided God of War up into chunks. It was kind of like when I read Lord of the Rings. I did it in pieces because I wanted to spread it out. I wanted to preserve it. Nice. And it was fun experience. But yeah, I am glad that what Sam said about exploration got said, because there hasn't been a lot of focus on exploration in games this year.
I mean, maybe Far Cry could count as that, but
but
I didn't want to kill people
Cry.
in the United States a whole lot. I just didn't feel like it this year.
There's enough of that going on anyway. I don't think we need to imagine it.
Yeah, Iron Maiden Pinball from Stern is a really good game this year.
Iron Maiden Pinball is really fun.
Pinball table's so good.
It's surprising to get such a good pinball machine out of such a weird theme.
Can you summarize for people that aren't familiar with pinball what makes that table so
but I'll keep it quick. It's because it's as mummies. Mummies are cool. I like mummies a lot.
Mummies are pretty cool.
It's not Iron Maiden themed as much as it is like 80s like jacket themed, like metal like
It's got a
LP cover art themed.
got a weird multi-ball mode around dogfighting.
Yeah. So it has
like World War I dogfighting.
like
when you said
most-
dogfighting, I was thinking about like two dogs in a pit. Like,
not
okay,
like
good.
that.
That's
what makes
good
it
kind.
fun is that most of the things in the game are either like a really fast loop to shoot or a cool like pyramid ramp in the back of the game, which is fun. And then everything leads to a short multi-ball. And so you're always just like playing for 20 seconds with a single ball, and then all of a sudden there's just a multi-ball again. It's like the best balance of that.
It's
so
very
fun.
fast. It's a very fast table.
And it plays really loud Iron Maiden music.
Yeah.
That's
the whole
also
time.
that's a great virtue in anything in life.
But
They nailed that machine. Go check it out at your local bar or arcade.
so speaking of pinball, I thought you liked Yoku's Island Express.
Yeah, I do like that game a lot.
Okay.
But
It's not a game of the year contender. Like it's a very cute, charming, original idea.
I agree with
Like,
you. Sam's acting like he hasn't played anything good this year.
yeah, it was delightful.
Okay.
So yeah, and again that switch.
I'm in game of the year mode though. Like, yeah, I mean, I've played a lot of games, but
yeah.
I'm not gonna
What's the best thing you've played
dig my grave
recently?
yet.
Who are you looking
I'm playing Oxenfree right now, and I really like it.
Ooh, I love Oxenfree! Yay!
Yeah, it's cool.
That's so much fun. Damon, go ahead.
There's just so many games that came out of last year that I didn't get to till this year, so it's hard for game of the year. I just played Wolfenstein stuff like that, this year. So you know how it goes.
Yeah, I'm
You're
playing
playing Assassin's Creed, right?
Assassin's Creed Origins, which is very, very.
Damon, I haven't looked it up, but I received a message from someone just last night that we are apparently within like 1,500 views of Holy Chip 3.
And it's only been like 2 years.
I know we are almost there.
The system works.
I have Alien Crush ready.
It's Alien Crush. I was trying to remember what the next
Finally,
game,
a game that
alphabetically.
people care about.
I have Alien Crush ready to go.
Well, I've been playing a lot of Yoku's Island, so I feel like I'm really good at video game pinball right now.
All right, there we go.
Sonic Spinball.
No, I haven't been playing.
Good as Alien Crush is, Devil's Crush is better.
You did play that in the Genesis collection.
I did
recently.
play a little bit of that, yeah. That game
Played
is
it more recently than us, probably. Yeah, it's very slow.
slow for pinball, yeah. Dude, I also loved Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. I think that game is awesome.
I
Both
really
that and
enjoyed
Yoku I like a lot. Like those are
That's
cool
definitely
games.
like one of my favorite games I've played this year.
Yeah, Curse of the Moon is really compelling. Both the really interesting way they decided to evoke the spirit of the Konami VRC6 chip in that, like this ridiculous amount of fidelity they totally did not have to do.
So
to create
you're
this
talking
kinda-
about like the ability to make big, colorful sprites
exactly, but
that
within
looks like NES, but the NES probably couldn't have done that.
yeah, maybe with the VR. Well, they couldn't have
Not
uprest it to
not
that.
without any flicker or
Yeah.
down.
Well,
But-
Castlevania 3 on the on the Famicom Disk System had some extra stuff going.
It does. It has some extra because people always talk about the sound, and it had that, but it also had extra graphics going for it. It could do things graphically the NES could not normally do. And
Sorry, I misspoke. It's not Disk System though.
No, it's not disk system.
It's a cartridge.
It's a
That's why it
cartridge.
has the hardware.
It has a VRC6 chip, which was one of the most advanced chipsets ever developed for the Famicom.
You guys can just tune out for about
Yes.
three more minutes.
No, but it does neat
We'll
things
be
like
back
the
to Game
sprites.
Scoop.
The sprites tend to be 3-colored. But you're right, Damon. It's a
Yeah.
really good like Castlevania 3 tribute, but it doesn't feel like a
I
tribute.
feel like it has more strategy to it than Castlevania 3.
I
I
agree.
love switching the characters.
Switch
and then-
characters, and then you have to also choose which special power to equip for each character.
Well, that's kind of what
and then which character dies.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a funny thing to choose.
Spoilers.
and that's what Nintendo.
No, you don't.
just in that level.
It's
They're
because
your lives.
You have to like you only have 4 characters, and when they die, you don't get to use them anymore. So you want to use your crappy one,
Like
but you don't
Ninja
think you're
Turtles.
gonna use
Like
it.
Ninja Turtles, exactly. But also, each of the characters has unique traversal abilities, and there's certain areas you can only get, so you got to factor that in too. It's like Ninja Turtles if one of the characters could jump higher than the others.
Ninja Turtles
and-
Metroidvania.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like Super Mario Brothers 2.
Yeah.
Doki Doki Panic.
Very good.
Wouldn't a good version of Ninja Turtles be if we modded it to only have 4 Donatellos?
yeah,
I would
Dude.
play that.
Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be fun?
Or just get rid of that water level. Just skip it.
If you buy,
But getting through the seaweed, it's
There's-
so hard.
It's that one moment. Get rid of that screen.
I bought this Sega collection on Steam a while ago. It's not the same one that just came out, but I think it's almost exactly the same games. But it accepts mods, and I have this wonderful Streets of Rage 2 mod that lets you play as the Ninja Turtles.
Oh,
it's
cool.
wonderful. You're playing Streets of Rage, but you're Donatello. It's great.
Yeah, that's really
It's all I
cool.
want in life.
good.
Did you guys beat Curse?
What, Curse of the Moon? I still
I
haven't finished
haven't
it.
beaten it yet.
I did, and like it gets harder and harder, and I thought it would get to a point where I would just like be like, I'm not going to do this anymore.
Yeah.
But because the characters have special skills, it's almost like Mega Man, where the bosses have weaknesses. So if you bring in this like ice attack from the wizard, you bust out the wizard, you can freeze the entire boss sometimes.
And that makes sense because it's
so
made
cool.
by Inti Creates, the same people who made Mega Man 9, the best Mega Man game. Yep. And
When did you decide that?
what? Mega Man 9?
Yeah.
Long ago. Mega Man 9 has been my favorite Mega Man game since it came out.
Probably not before the year 2009.
I wrote an article about this on IGN.com long ago.
You wrote
Who let you do that?
I think you did.
Shit.
I think that
You
was
wrote
assigned
Mega
by
Man
you.
9 is the best Mega Man?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I put that on the list. Yeah,
What's the second best?
probably 2. I think it goes 9, 2, 3, 10 for the top 4.
Safe. Yeah.
And also Blaster Master, the Blaster Master game on Switch, which is way good. Way good
from launch.
It's way better than it has any business being.
Yeah,
like
it's
that
very
game is actually great. And another Indie Creates game. They're very good at taking that old style.
Inti did that one? That's great. Okay.
Yeah, they did that. They're very good at like making games that look old but play new. And that's kind of their jam. They really have that down. You also, I did get to play Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
The main Bloodstained.
Yeah, you got to play it too at E3, right?
E3's a go.
Okay, E3.
But this time Iga did a demo on
Yeah.
the show. It's just you didn't play it.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to play that, and I enjoyed the first demo, but the second demo and fighting that second boss, I was Alucard. Like I knew I had muscle memory movements for a game I'd never played
that's
before.
awesome.
I was like, I got so excited. I was like, I could control my character, and I knew what to do instinctually for a video game I never played. It was the weirdest thing.
So you ducked in the corner and you just punched over.
No, I did not. But I did get the knife and do the Alucard crowd and stab. Like I was like, threw the gun away. I'm like, no sword. I'm just like, close in and step, run away. Close in, step, run away. It was great. I loved it. That little knife in Symphony of the Night is first half of the game just owns.
Yeah.
The knife where like there's the knuckles, right?
Oh yeah,
Is
yeah,
it
the little
the same
knuckles.
effect?
Yeah. The Belisard. Oh, sorry, I'm
No, it's
doing
fine.
that thing I do.
Bloodstained is supposed to be out this year, but doesn't have a release date yet. Anyway, I feel like God of War is far and away the front runner for Game of the Year consideration at this point.
Yeah. It's just we do have things like Red Dead coming out.
Spider-Man,
Red
crazy.
Dead.
yeah, who knows?
If only you had a source for all your Red Dead news.
If only there was a podcast
You gonna
dedicated.
plug your podcast?
to Red
Absolutely, I'm going to plug my podcast.
Dead, Red Dead Radio.
Well, that was your chance.
That was it. Damon did it for me. Find out more at reddeadradio.com.
Is there anything we're missing that would be like a contender that needs to be mentioned at this point? Okay. I just wanted to make sure. So before we move on, it's not time.
The angry emails are on their way.
We talked a little bit. I wanted to share a little bit about what we've been playing recently. I know we touched on that. Justin, what have you been playing?
Oh boy, my answer would have been nothing. I kind of, I go through cycles of. I'm actually, although I loved God of War, I'm mostly with Sam. Where like nothing's really grabbed me this year, calendar year 2018 so far. But
God of War.
God of War.
Yeah.
But I downloaded Lumines on the Nintendo Switch.
There you go. There you go.
Dude.
Speaking of old games,
Not that this is like a surprise or unknown to anyone, but it's the best puzzle game ever made.
Pear made a beautiful tweet in response to that. It really
What
is
was Pear's
a work of
response? I didn't
art.
see
It needs to be read aloud to be done properly, but it's an
I
amalgamation
saw
of
your
like
tweet, but I didn't see Paris.
it's like 8 different puzzle games all worked into one coherent response. He just uses them in clever ways. It's really cute.
Dad joke puzzle game tweet.
Yeah.
Is
the magic-
Luminous always control based, or it was a PSP first? Right?
Yeah, PSP. Right.
So it works perfectly on Switch.
Oh yeah, it's superb.
Some people complain about the Switch's D-pad. They think it's a little sticky, and I'm not saying that they're
the one that's like on the Joy-Con.
Yeah, and like I'm not
no
discounting that or saying that there's not any truth to that, but I didn't like. I had people tweeting at me like, "Oh, are there D-pad issues?" And I'm like, I just play the game and I'm having fun. Like,
When I play like twitchy action games like Mega Man or some of the arcade shoot 'em ups that have been coming to the Switch, I prefer that Joy-Con D-pad to the Pro controllers.
Yeah. Why is that? Is it
It feels more responsive.
by the way, when I say best puzzle game of all time, puzzle games come in 2 categories. There's like The Witness, and then there's like block clearing puzzle games. But I don't like. It's a way less declarative statement to be like it's the greatest Tetris style puzzle game ever made. So just understand that that's like an unspoken asterisk next to that declaration. But Tetris was the greatest for 30 years.
And then Hatris.
And then there was that tiny window where
Spectrum Holobytes
where
Classic
Hatris is there.
Hatris.
And now it's
Second time we
it's
brought up
Luminous.
Hatris.
Where do you come down on Super Puzzle Fighter?
I like it.
I like that one.
Somewhere in the world, there's a very angry Magical Drop 3 contingent.
it's
just
you.
Mark,
Well,
Mark,
no,
you
that was
guys-
not me.
You
No,
guys
no,
bring
no.
up a good point, though. There's actually, I think, another category of puzzle game, which is just multiplayer puzzle games. And like head to head is just a different
Puzzle battlers.
You don't want to do
Like-
that all the time.
like Puzzle Bobble.
Twinkle Star Sprites
Yeah.
falls under that.
Bust a
yeah.
move.
Bust move, yeah, and
that's
then of course even Tetris and Dr. Mario.
Yeah, I mean Tetris originally was a head-to-head game on Game Boy. Yeah, that's a good
Like
point.
I haven't played Lumines since the PSP, so
Yeah, I
that was a
haven't-
decade
well,
ago, and like I picked it back up, and like that game's ability to like get you back into a flow state, like with just like that, where like you're turned off to the world, and like the muscle memory returns, and you know how to deal with situations where like there's one block on its own, so you have to like rotate the thing and get it to fall and connect. Like Ugh,
Yeah,
it's the best. It's perfect.
Luminous is, I think, it's chill Tetris.
Chiltress.
Yeah, you're sitting there and it's weirdly relaxing even when you're failing. Most of a Luminous experience is kind of zen, and I do like that about it. And I think there's some validity to what you're saying. Tetris, I think, is still, in my opinion, the one I enjoy the most. I really do. But Luminous deserves accolades that place it at every bit of its heights. It's an innovation on a formula that I haven't seen somebody take an idea as good as Tetris and do something fresh with it that still feels equally intuitive very often.
PSVR Tetris.
Yeah, what about the new VR Tetris?
I look forward to that more
Tetris
than
Evolution?
almost any game this year.
Yeah.
I think I want to play that more than just about anything.
Yeah, because you really liked the VR puzzle game already. You reviewed.
I liked Super Hypercube,
Super Hypercube.
which kind of falls into the same place. I liked Res VR because Res is awesome and VR is awesome, and together Area X in that is one of the best realizations of virtual reality I've seen. It's like, oh, here's what virtual reality should be like. Okay, I get it. When you do Area X, you finally go, this is why everybody's so
because
excited
it's
about
realistic
VR.
or because it's stylized?
Neither, because it's designed well. It's hiding behind beautiful stylization, but he just knows how to make the space the perfect size and he understands how far you can turn your head in a given amount of time and how far before you get motion sick and what's comfortable flowing movement and how to sync it all to music.
Is that the shooter?
That's the shooter. Yeah, that's the big circular Area X
game
shooter.
was a trip, man. I
Yeah.
really liked how you just feel like you're actually not in like another world. You're in like a little microcosm.
Yeah.
I think that's
Area X. And that's the same guy that's doing Tetris VR. So that's what's exciting. And the same guy that made Luminous. So I think that this is a very good time for that. But yeah, Tetris. But yeah, Luminous, yeah, excited. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm going to shut up. Somebody else talk.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting back into Lumines, but I've been spending a lot of time with a new mobile game. It's been a long time since I got stuck into a mobile game.
Yeah, seriously.
This is Dungeon Maker Dark Lord.
Oh, I know that game.
Anyone knows this?
Yeah, I'm playing that game.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's roguelike tower defense laid out in a board game format.
It's a little bit like Slay the Spire, which is a PC game. So
Yeah,
It's
one of those where you're the bad guy in the dungeon and you're trying to stop the heroes
I love that.
from
yeah.
getting in.
And it's on mobile?
Yeah.
Then you're making choices about.
I think it's on
like,
PC as well.
Do you want to have you like hatch an egg? That's like a new monster that you
monster.
can place on the board to help you defend, or do you want to upgrade your hero, or like you have to make each level you beat, you make a choice about how to get stronger.
Yeah, or do you want to place a trap in one of your rooms?
Okay, so this sounds great. I love that formula of you as the evil dungeon master. Like, I keep waiting for somebody to go back. There's this old game, Wizardry 4, which was one of the first games to do that, where you played as Wardena.
Sounds like it was the fourth game.
It was, but it's the first game that was you as the bad guy. You're the villain from the first 3 games.
Twist.
And they did this really cool
you're
thing.
trying to escape from
you're
the
trying
dungeon,
to
they
escape from the
locked you
dungeon. But the enemies, they had people, this is pre-internet, mail in their floppy disks with their hero parties from the first 3 games. They like saved their characters and mailed them. And so all the monsters you meet in the dungeon are real world hero parties that people have created, and then you fight the heroes. I want somebody to do that in a contemporary setting. It's got to be possible.
You want someone to have to mail in?
No, but I wanted an automated version
Just stick
of
to your
that. where-
guns. Mail.
I always
No.
like World of Warcraft does this, and other RPGs do this sometimes, where you have like the dark mirror universe version of like the 5 character. Like you face off against another party that's like a healer and a tank and, a mage and a whatever. And they're just like sort of twisted versions of, instead of fighting a Hydra or a dragon, you're just fighting, another version of your own group.
I like that. Yeah, I love that mechanic. But I want to play this game, damn it. This sounds great.
Called Dungeon Maker Dark Lord. It's not free to play. It costs like $3. You can play it offline. It's really fun.
Oh, it's not free to play. Even better.
Yeah.
That's great. You just pay for it.
Yeah.
Yay.
Imagine that. You guys playing anything else?
Yeah, I mentioned I was playing Oxenfree, and that's because so many people in the office flipped for that game. And Justin had brought up that he didn't like it as much. And you walk around and you listen to conversations between teenagers, and so like you have to be ready to accept that like you're basically listening to a kind of a radio play. There's not a lot to play in the game.
Yeah.
But that part of it is like God of War, like it's orchestrated like really well. So it has to be, what you're looking for in a game.
Yeah. I haven't checked that one out yet.
I'm playing a few things on Switch right now. I'm playing Songbringer, which is really neat. It's a kind of a Zelda-ish. It's like Zelda and a roguelike had a baby. It's fun. It creates Zelda-esque worlds, like Link to the Past-esque worlds.
Style?
It's lovely. I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like pixel impressionism, which is part of what makes the game beautiful. It's got great sound and these really unique graphics that don't look quite like anything else, and they're unique in a pretty way. I don't know how to describe them, but I do suggest you look at it and take a peek because I'm having quite a bit of fun with it. It's on Switch.
Nice.
Song West of Loathing on Switch I've been playing lately, and that's great. Have any of y'all played that? No. It's like one of those very few video games that's actually funny.
Well, it's like spin-off of Kingdom of Loathing, so it's got the stick figure art, but it's sort of it's a Western cowboy themed RPG, fairly traditional RPG.
Yeah, very traditional RPG with great humor.
Yeah.
It's the kind of game where there's a lot of text and it's worth reading because you laugh every time you do. And I really enjoyed that. And of course, Donkey Kong because it's there now. And
The sound doesn't bother you?
what, the sound on Donkey Kong?
Yeah.
I haven't been irritated by it. Is the sound bothering people? I hadn't heard about this.
Yeah.
Not arcade accurate. It's the
Yeah, a friend of the show, Mike Micah, has been tweeting about how Mario's footsteps are sampled in an interesting way to make it so it doesn't go. It's
not randomized.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not explaining it well.
It's
but
playing
the
the same-
noises should be all over the place. Instead, it's
So the emulation's wrong.
yeah, the emulation.
Well,
Okay.
it's just not. It's just
Should
not
you
the same.
care?
I mean, maybe it's nice. to
That was a
have this
rhetorical question.
All right, let's check in with listeners.
listeners.
Listeners, remember you
Jared.
can always reach
Oh, wait,
us
listeners.
at the email address gamescoop@ign.com, just like Yusuf from North Carolina, a.k.a. one of the most beautiful states on the East Coast, did.
Represent North Carolina. That's right. Hickory all the way.
What is
They're
Hickory?
very excited.
That's my hometown. Hickory.
Oh, okay.
Hickory, North Carolina.
Also, just a delicious.
A nice smoky odor.
Hickory, North Carolina. Fred T. Ford High School, home of the Tigers. That's right.
The Hickory Tigers.
No,
that
they're
sounds
the Ford.
delicious.
No, it's the Hickory Red Tornadoes, the Fred T. Ford Tigers.
What are you saying?
Hickory Crawdads, minor league baseball team.
Now that sounds good.
That's a cool
Get
name.
behind
Yeah,
Hickory
it is.
Crawdads.
Sounds like delicious, right? Delicious summer hickory crawdads.
Our mascot is Conrad the Crawdad.
That's a cute name.
Yeah.
All right, well, Yusuf, your friend from North Carolina, says, with the recent E3 announcements, how would you rank your excitement for the upcoming shared world shooters, Fallout 76, Division 2, and Anthem? I lean Division 2, though I'm not a fan of grindy gameplay loops unless the moment-to-moment is fun and accomplishing missions feels rewarding.
That's it.
Oh.
I would call the Division a top 10 disappointment for me this generation.
The original Division.
Just a completely, humorless, generic world with bullet spongy enemies that was just a worse Destiny in almost every way.
Yeah. So how are you feeling about 2?
Yeah.
Has there ever been a more Justin Davis feature than the top 10
It
disappointments?
doesn't seem like
that's
the reveal of 2 and it reversed any of that.
No, I mean, I get accused of being a hater a lot, but I want to point out that I just heaped tremendous amounts of praise on God of War this scoop. So remember that, commenters.
No, I think
No,
that's
the
fair
Division's
about
just not my thing. The sequel at least looks, brighter, and it's sort of jungly, plant-heavy DC is a little bit more interesting setting than like New York at winter. But it's probably not for me.
Yeah, what they showed of the Division 2 at the Ubisoft conference did nothing for me.
Share
more
So
the
the
same.
question is, do we rank Fallout or Anthem higher?
Yeah.
Anthem.
Fallout for me.
Yeah.
Really.
I would probably lean Fallout, even though I have my reservations about that game too. It's just Fallout is a known quantity that I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Anthem is like, I don't really know what's going on there.
I don't get the
Anthem
impression
is
that
BioWare.
Yeah, and I
yeah,
don't get
but
the
it's
impression
not really a
quite a bit.
BioWare game.
And is Fallout really a shared world shooter? Because I could care less about shared world shooters. That is not my kind of game. But Fallout looks like something that might be both shooting and exploratory based. I like the fact that there are other kinds of goals, other weird ways to play. I like the fact that there's a lot of AI interaction going on, death claws and stuff running around and doing their thing. And
Yeah.
there may be ways to manipulate that in interesting ways. And that Fallout universe is exciting for me. So I like seeing a AAA studio try something different.
that's
Which
nice.
doesn't happen very often.
The monsters look really good too. We've talked about how monsters on GameScoop. I think they have really good designs finally. I'm worried about building in Fallout. I don't want to build personally,
and they're kind
and
of
I didn't like it in 4. And it seems like
loved it in 4.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it gives you the option though, right? You don't have to do it. I'm worried about being forced to do it this game, but maybe it'll be kind of fun, like tower defense type stuff, because it looked like there's a thing today in which these monsters are attacking your camp that you create. It looked nice.
I didn't see that. That's cool.
Yeah, it was like a big bat, and the bat was shooting laser rings. It looked amazing.
It does. The one thing I'm going to miss is, and this has actually been a really hard one for me, is since I'm sharing a universe with other people, I can't cheat anymore. And that
No mods.
yeah, that's actually really hard because I always cheat when I play Fallout games. That's Fallout games should only be played on PC, so you can cheat. That's how it works.
Honestly, everybody cheats in Fallout because the save system is cheating.
Yeah, that's true. There's
And
that too.
you just make a library of I can go back to this if I screw up saves.
Yeah.
And you even do that before you play a randomized game or whatever. So like when you're doing that, I don't even see how this Fallout's going to have a save system like that. How can it? How can it?
Oh, I don't think it can, or I don't think it can unless
So
you're playing
no
single player.
VATs, and then the Fallout's main gameplay element, which is saving.
We got called out repeatedly when we said no VATs
Yeah,
in
but
the
it's
comments.
like-
But people need to understand that VATs is being able to pause
That's
and be
what-
tactical
that's what
and choose your
VATs
body parts. And
is.
they're like, no, Todd Howard says it has VATs. And it's like, look, we understand that there's some version of that doesn't involve pausing and, it's probably targeting body parts in real time, but that doesn't mean it's the same.
What if it's just 100-player servers and it turns out anytime anyone uses VATs, the whole game pauses for everybody? And that's why they gave
You just have to wait.
That's why they
Whoever
gave you,
hits the button first, it's like you're frozen.
But in a clever innovation, all those little mini games they created that you could play arcade style on your VATs, like the little arcade.
Yeah.
You can just sit there and do those while somebody else is VATsing until their time.
Maybe everyone does VATs at the same time.
Whoa, turn-based VATs.
What was that Frost? What was that multiplayer game? The top-down tactical game where you did actions and then the other player did actions and they played out simultaneously.
Oh, there's a lot of those. Actually, that goes all the way back to tabletop working.
No, I know, but there was a really popular one with
Sorry, Justin, I don't know which one you're going for.
Frozen Synapse.
Oh, yeah.
I have not played Frozen Synapse.
That's a cool game, but I never played multiplayer. I just played against the computer.
So, and I played Anthem, and I like how it feels. Like it feels really cool, but it also feels like a really generic military sci-fi game. And I want to know what the BioWare side of it is.
Yeah.
And it's hard for them to show that, right?
I think Anthem, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, there's not that many games. Like, it's more Iron Man-y than I think people are giving it credit for. Like, it really is about you as a person inside these giant hulking suits that can fly through the air and go underwater. And, like, when they showed off that game a year ago, I sort of just, like, that's what they showed off in their demo. But I'm like, how will that actually translate to gameplay and how will it feel? Like, it's very exploration heavy. I don't know. To me, Anthem is the winner out of those three games in terms of, like, what's my interest level.
Well.
Fallout 76, when they said you will not encounter a human in that game world that's not another human being, that's not a player. I'm like, all right, this game could be really well made and really excellent in a lot of ways, but this is not going to be a game for me.
Yeah.
And maybe Fallout 76 and Anthem and The Division will all be a very different game 2 years from now.
That's
That's
true.
the weirdest thing about when these games launch is that we can compare them by whenever Division 2 comes out, and then they're going to be completely different 3 years after that.
Yeah,
I
that's
wonder
true.
what kind of loot box shenanigans they're all going to have.
Yeah, that's a dirty word now, so I think they're going to try to avoid it. It's hard to say with Fallout, though.
EA's avoiding it. I don't know about the other two.
Loot Fox is a good word, though.
Loot Fox.
All right, we have to keep things fair and balanced. That last question was from North Carolina. This question is from South Carolina. It's Hunter is the name.
You don't have to balance the Carolinas.
Yeah, you don't. One is better than the other objectively.
Well,
I didn't say that.
Hunter might
All right.
have some words.
North
That
Carolina.
escalated
you.
quickly.
Hunter can say what he wants. North Carolina's better than South. North Carolina's full of beautiful mountainous country and
Wow.
blue skies.
Wow.
And South Carolina's the sand heap that God created after he was done making North Carolina, and he had some
He's
leftover
just
junk in
digging
the
deeper,
corner.
Wow. Okay.
tripling down.
Well, anyway, Hunter says, I was having a discussion about the games shown at E3 this year with my friend, and the conversation turned to Fallout 76. When I asked her what she thought of the game, she said, it's just another Battle Royale game. After considering this, I've realized that Bethesda has bamboozled us all. They've created a Fallout-themed Battle Royale game without the shrinking map and had the nerve to charge $60 for it.
Like a slow battle royale.
I was wondering where the Scoop crew stands on this. If you disagree, why?
Well,
so-
I disagree because it's not a battle royale
Yeah,
game. I don't know how to.
Let's be clear about this. It's just not a Battle Royale game.
I do
at
want to
all.
say, Hunter, pro use of the word bamboozle. Underrated word in general.
And then since Jared's not going to respond to somebody from South Carolina, I'll take his answer.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Go for it.
Okay, well, I think I would define the battle royale genre as it has to have a closing in map.
No, Battle Royale is just last man standing.
Yeah, it has
the
that, but
Fallout
they all
76
do have the
isn't
closing in
that.
map.
I
so-
think it has
they
to have
do.
the closing in map.
Yeah, it has to have that.
I mean, no, it doesn't have to do that. The concept of battle royale existed before PUBG.
Okay.
No, but it
You're
has
talking
to-
about
it-
in popular culture.
It has to have that because otherwise there's no forcing of
Well,
the
I agree.
conflict.
Yeah, I
Two
understand.
characters would just live their
Mechanically-
lives on opposite sides of the map.
They can both.
Mechanically, I
characters.
absolutely understand why you would need to do it in a video game.
You've
Sure.
you've just inspired my indie game. It's just going to be 100 people slowly aging in different parts of the world.
Do we need to fight
Still
you with?
laughing.
It's like no, you don't need to fight at all. You just exist together.
It's
That
like
might be what
Gone
more
Home.
Fallout's like, right? Fallout might be more like that.
Dude, your slowly aging comment reminded me of there's just a 10 out of 10 clickhole headline this week. It was pretty pointless. This woman lived to be 107 and then she died anyway.
Pretty pointless.
Everything was beautiful and nothing hurt.
Yeah, you're right. Mechanically, I totally understand why it would need the shrinking map. But yeah, I think most importantly, it's a last man standing mode, which Fallout 76 isn't in the first place.
Well, what? Because it's unclear what the end game is. And
Yeah, I do love the
When you
idea
die,
that they're
what-
saying
you're
this,
like-
and then like a month from now they reveal that there's totally a battle royale.
yeah,
well,
it could have a mode.
if that happens, sure.
It could have a mode.
Maybe it would have a mode. But this is, you're supposed to be like teaming up with other people to go on quests and take on quests from other players.
And what,
Yeah,
I guess what
and you-
happens when you die is an interesting thing to know.
It's just, yeah, it'll be some respawning thing back at your base. Like that. Okay, and that brings us to the July. Settle down there, Jared.
What did I do? What did I do?
Moving the chair.
Oh, I
table
made
around.
the table loose again.
That brings us to the July 1991 issue of Electronic Gaming Monthly with
Yay!
Terminator 2 on the cover. They have the exclusive preview of Terminator 2 Judgment Day for the NES. It's not even the arcade version, I don't think.
NES.
Yeah.
An NES game on the cover in '91.
But we're going to turn straight to the Castellian ad.
I want to remind people,
All right.
in July of 1991, the Super Nintendo was not yet out.
Yeah, in the United States.
So yeah,
right.
that's why they're covering NES games.
Yeah, they are.
The
Goodness.
Genesis was though.
Genesis has
It
been
did
out
what
for
Nintendo also
2
got,
years.
TurboGrafx
And
16.
speaking of, they've got a preview of the ultimate in 16-bit punch and kick games. Final Fight? No, it's Streets of Rage by Sega.
Okay, well, Streets of Rage is awesome. Is that a Castilian ad?
Yeah. I was hoping you might know what Castellian is
Castilian's awesome. Oh, no, that's a really cool game. It does this
for
neat-
NES and Game Boy.
Yeah, it does this really cool effect where like the level in the background is rotating. It's really clever graphical trickery that makes it look 3D. Castilian's both fun and beautiful. You should play it.
I'll back Jared up on this.
I like this ad. This is a 2-page spread.
Jared, I think you're both fun and beautiful.
Oh, thank you, Justin Davis. I
And
really
the
appreciate that.
simulation of 3D is pretty impressive in Jared.
This is a 2-page spread that says Revolution does what 9-year-olds want.
What?
Because they're making Sega Genesis games and they're playing. It's a play on Genesis does what Nintendo don't.
Okay, so this is
Renovation
Renovation.
does,
What
yeah.
did Renovation make?
Oh,
The
it's
Renovation
Renovation.
made such games as Final Zone, Gaeres, Aero Flash,
Gyros.
Game
Oh, yeah.
Ground,
Okay, Gyros and Game Ground are both great.
Valis 3.
Oh, wait,
what?
they published Valis?
Yeah.
I don't understand the 9-year-old situation here.
I think that's just that's the target demographic for video games
for
in
Valis 3?
in 1991.
They just make kids games. Is
Trying to
that
sell,
what?
no,
mean-
but these are like Game Ground. These are definitely more like these are going to be like 11 to 15-year-old games. I think.
So I was 9 in part of 1981.
in 91.
91, I mean, yeah. So
So you should be the authority here, Sam.
I didn't play any of those games.
What was interesting
I
to me
should've
is
seen
that they're
ad.
playing on.
I played
the
Adventure
Genesis
Island too.
does.
Game Ground is really good. It's
What
like
Nintendo?
3-player gauntlet.
The Adventure Island was definitely targeted at me
Gyros is good.
Adventure Island 2.
too. Yeah, I love that
Oh,
game.
that game's good.
More fun in the sun. Flipping it ahead to the letters section. Bert Ranton in Boston, Massachusetts writes in, "Who invented video games?"
Oh,
This should be an interesting
"Help!
answer.
I am working on a research paper and I am stuck. It is on the history of video games.
Oh my!
I have been able to obtain info on all the older systems in their games, but I want to go back even further. That's my problem. I can't find any information on the history of video games since 1991.
Pre-internet.
okay.
One
Yeah.
source
Technically,
talks
yeah.
about Nolan Bushnell and another mentions Ralph Baer.
Right.
Who are these people? Since you are the authority on video games, can you help me? Hurry, the paper is due May 31st.
Whoa, no!
my hour has come.
Didn't you say this is the July issue?
Well,
Of course, they have to like get
Right.
the issue ready well in advance.
That's great.
That's very exciting. So
is there an answer?
Yeah, so EGM responds, "We are always happy to help someone who wants to learn more about the history of our industry, and thanks for turning to us for the info. There's been a lot of confusion about who invented the video game and other non-specific nebulous terms like the father of games or the person who is recognized as the originator of games are widely used. We here at EGM have been researching this subject for over a year, and the problem is getting proof to certain claims. We did it though. Forget
Wow.
Forget about the people you mentioned. Their work first started as late as 1967. Their work is good filler for a paper, but hardly what you would call proper research.
Are they going to talk about Higginbotham and Slug
As
Russell?
best as we can tell, the real inventor of the video game, with solid proof to back it up, is an unknown physicist named Willie Higginbotham.
Right.
His work on a Pong game dates back to 1958.
Tennis for two.
Tennis for two.
Tennis
And
for
there's
two.
also Knots and Crosses, although I forget that guy's
So,
name.
and the reason why people say that those two games are different and that it's hard to pin down is that one is a video game
Right.
in terms of like having a moving thing on screen in video, and then the other one is an electronic game which is displayed on a screen.
Right, he did an oscilloscope. Higginbotham did, so it's
Yeah.
not even exactly on a
And
standard
that's not a
video
CRT,
display.
so whether that matters or not, it's still, I think, a video display. But
Yeah.
it's, and then if you look up, the research now is always like, what's the first computer game, electronic game, and video game?
Right.
And those are like all different topics.
Who's the Knots and Crosses guy? I always forget his name.
I don't know. Well, and then there's also the reason I bring up the computer game stuff and electronic game is because there's also the text adventure type stuff that was not even. It's like training or trying to trick a person into thinking that they're typing to another person.
Yeah,
but it's
AI stuff.
It's a it's a
And it was a
robot.
program.
Yeah.
Like those are really early too.
Or you look at what Slug Russell's work in 1962, I think, with computer space, and there you've got multiplayer gaming going on a computer.
All right, we got a lot of issue. We got a lot of the issue to get through here. We have another
I think we're gonna stick with this stuff.
letter from John Zontrergs in New Jersey. He says, "You guys are really great. I think that the best thing about your mag is Quarterman and the review crew. I heard a rumor that NEC is raising the price of their Turbo Express from $250 to $300. Is this true?"
It's a bold move. Console price increase.
If you go on eBay right now, it's a lot more than that.
EGM says, "Unfortunately, what you heard is true." I didn't know there was a price increase.
Let's
go in
raise
that
the
direction.
price. Of
Says the
versus-
current shipment of Turbo Expresses will be $300. Believe me, NEC agonized over this dilemma for some time. It was not an easy decision, but because the price NEC has to pay for the ultra high resolution screens went up, so must the unit price.
Oh man, the Turbo Express was so rad.
Yeah, I don't.
That's the handheld.
That's the handle that just played all the Turbo games.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Sam,
Also
I
had a
didn't mean
TV
to-
No, I mean, I think it's interesting that they were using expensive off-the-shelf color screens that they just couldn't source anywhere.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, the Xbox One X is going to be $550 now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it goes up.
I know it's crazy.
Yeah, the Turbo Express, like being able to play like your console games on your handheld.
So it's like
at the
it's
time.
not like that thing was popular.
No, well, that was the problem. By '91, they were already flailing. They had Bonk, and then they had nothing, and it's too bad. It deserved. In Japan, it did really well, but it was a casualty of the fact that the yen was.
Yeah.
Everybody in Japan had lots of money for a while, and nobody in America had money for
What
a while.
they
That was
needed
a terrible time to launch.
Was
that
Bubble
console.
Ghost, and then they would have sold some systems.
Bubble Ghost?
But they blew it. Someone wrote an EGM rap. It goes a little something like this. It's going to sound more like a poem, but Electronic Gaming Monthly rules, making other mags look like fools.
Oh.
Covering games, tips, and tactics, Nintendo, Genesis, and TurboGrafx. Showing us cartridges old and new, ratings superb from the review crew. Sushi X, Steve, Ed, and Martin buying this mag. Many take part in. EGM is updated with the latest. How does it feel to be the greatest?
That's really good.
You know what?
Have you ever written, Damon? You write lots of music. Have you written a video game song?
Not anything with like lyrics, certainly not a rap. And I also wanted to express extreme disappointment that none of our listeners have ever written in a Game Scoop rap.
send
that
in a
how you-
Game Scoop rap.
You're shaming people into writing a rap.
Rap for us?
Yes.
Extreme disappointment.
Over in their reviews, they've got Bill and Ted for NES. That didn't get very high scores. But what about this pinball game, High Speed? You know this one on NES?
Yeah, that's an actual Williams
Sport?
pinball
Yeah.
machine
Really?
called High Speed.
Yeah.
Trade West.
Dude,
did
High
this
Speed's
Cool.
for it, yeah.
High Speed, it's one of the rare, they got a sequel.
Yeah,
High Speed got a sequel?
High Speed
Yeah.
2: The Getaway is like a fun game with ramps and stuff.
Wow.
It's Steve Ritchie game.
I don't know that.
What else is being reviewed here?
The
Base
Getaway-
Wars.
Oh, that game's real fun.
The game was great.
I'm actually a big fan of baseball.
Oh, yeah. 3 8s and a 7 for Base Wars.
That's good. That's
justifiably so. And then there's a whole ad for HAL America's pinball video games because they had Revenge of the Gator.
Never heard of that.
Oh,
Never heard of. That's really good. It's
yeah,
a really
Revenge of
good
the Gator's
pinball game.
fun. Yeah,
And then they had Rollerball pinball for NES.
I don't remember that.
Wait. Can I see a picture?
Well, it's just that.
Yeah, Revenge of the Gator is
I've
Game
played
Boy.
Rollerball.
You've played Rollerball?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an early Game Boy pinball game, and Sam, you ought to check it out. Historically, it's pretty neat. It's,
Why?
It's a very, it's pretty. It's pretty in a way that most Game Boy games weren't early on.
This is
No,
pretty.
I don't.
It's pretty significant. This is the review of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Whoa.
Which one? All the
First one?
nines?
Yeah, the 4 9s there. That's the review of Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis. First
It's
one.
got good graphics and doesn't sound like crap on the Genesis sound chip, so we'll give it a 9.
Sonic 1 was amazing. It felt impossible the first
Yeah,
time.
it was technologically stunning when it came out. I agree. It's not great, but
They
it's
reviewed,
good.
I think it's great.
They reviewed Ninja Gaiden for the Lynx.
Oh, that
is
is
based on the
not
Atari version?
That is not a good version of
Wow, they gave it all 8s.
That is a
Jared?
bad score.
I
That is
think-
an improper score for that game.
I actually like that game. I like the arcade version of the game, and I think the Lynx
Is that a
handled it-
Wizard of War sequel?
Wings of War.
Wings of with a WOR?
Yeah.
Wait, what is
For Sega
what is
Genesis.
happening here?
Genesis. Yeah, I've never.
I
seen
just remember seeing that box art.
I am baffled. I do not know this game.
What is
I love this section. So this is Electronic Gaming Monthly and Vic Tokai present the games of July appearing in local stores now.
So it's sponsored content.
Special advertising.
sponsored
Yeah.
content?
But there's like sections for Lynx, Game Gear, Neo Geo, and Master System
And
that
they're
are just empty.
They're blank.
Why don't? Why are they? Like
Why
this,
did they leave them
magazine,
on there?
This magazine
They're
layout
just
is
empty.
unbelievable that you would include a section with nothing in it.
It's
My-
just so, think of the wasted space.
My guess is that they completed the layout, had the layout locked, and then
They're
they
like,
didn't
okay,
get in. From,
what Lynx games do we have this month?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, and plus, since it's an advertisement, you know the editors hated this shit, so they're like, just leave it blank. We don't care.
Editors love integrated marketing. What are you talking about, Justin?
Yeah, when you're telling me.
True. All right, it's time for a gaming gossip from the Quarterman. Let's see here.
Cool.
We got some Turbo news in the third paragraph here. In other Turbo news, the company is hard at work following up Bonk's Revenge and the Bonk 3 graphic adventure that EGM previewed last issue.
The Bonk, well, maybe they just Bonk 3 doesn't have a title yet. That
But was there ever a Bonk graphic adventure?
I'm guessing they're just talking about
I don't think
Bonk
that term graphic
3.
adventure was.
There are a lot of weird.
I think
Bonk
Maniac
games.
Mansion and like King's Quest.
Yeah, I don't know if they're trying to use it that way. Maybe.
Yeah, there are a lot of weird Bonk, like Japan Bonk games too. So it could be something. But I don't remember there ever being a text adventure.
No.
And then it says, look forward to Bonk 4, another scrolling adventure game, as well as Bonk 5, a prehistoric shooter with lots of firepower and dino targets.
Is
Can you imagine somebody telling somebody from EGM back then, listen, we're putting out a couple more Bonk games. This is our long-term plan.
Well, Bonk,
Here's what they all are.
it came to Nintendo platforms.
5.
It came,
Yeah.
you know, it wasn't just an NEC TurboGrafx game.
this
so-
Bonk 5 shooter has to be Air Zonk.
I don't know. Did Air Zonk have dinosaurs in it?
Well, I think they're just speculating that that's what Bonk fights, right? Because there was never a Bonk 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
Or
on
only-
TurboGrafx. Again, there are games that went to other platforms they might be interpreting as that.
Yeah, I mean, there was like Super Bonk for SNES, but
Yeah.
This is
Anyway.
some
Just-
deep
it was-
Bonk talk.
In 91, you could just put whatever you wanted in your magazine. It doesn't matter. What are they gonna do?
I cannot believe this 2-spread ad for TurboGrafx 16, and it says, here's what the critics are saying about TurboGrafx. And it's just all this, there's like so much unreadable, minuscule, tiny text on there about like what critics have said
These
about
are-
their games. And
these-
it's black and white.
These are the people that decided to lean into Johnny Turbo, man. I mean, no offense to today's Johnny Turbo who releases.
We were talking about it.
Yeah,
Turbo yesterday.
I'm talking about the old Johnny Turbo, not the new Johnny Turbo. The
Aren't they
old
the
Johnny
sa- aren't they
Turbo.
the same?
No, well, sorta. But the old Johnny Turbo kind of looked like Serious Sam's like worse younger brother, and the new Johnny Turbo releases dope game Data East games on
Right.
Switch. So
But
You guys can just Google Johnny Turbo.
Yeah. There's a quick little preview of Joe and Mac. A game
Caveman
that,
Ninja.
Yeah, a game that.
For the arcade, is it like an arcade preview? Because the graphics look really good in that little.
Well, it says Super Famicom.
Oh, wow.
And then there's a full page ad for Vice Project Doom on NES, which is very famously bad NES box art. I don't know if we can get a close up of that, but like this woman, this is not a human being. This woman, she has no feeling. She's dead. She is absolutely a cyborg.
what's your favorite NES box art, Damon?
Me?
Yeah,
My favorite NES box art?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to top those.
I'm a
Castlevanias.
Contra man myself.
That's
Or like
really good.
Konami did really good work with Castlevania and Contra.
Yeah.
Ninja Gaiden's pretty dope. A ninja coming out of a flaming city.
Castlevania 3 is a pretty great box art.
Also, the Metal Gear box art that is completely ripped from Terminator, like shot for shot ripped from
about
Kyle
Bayou Billy?
Reese and
Well,
Terminator.
oh yeah, absolutely. What used to be the Super Famicom times is now the Super NES times on the eve of the Super NES release, and they've got Castlevania 4 here in this issue. Super Ghouls and Ghosts,
Ooh, those games are both real good.
the best Ghouls and Ghosts adventure ever. It says it right there. They've got Super Adventure Island in here.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Let's jump
Lots
to
of good games.
page 55.
Dude, back then,
Wow.
We got some Drawa.
Drawa, not Drakwe. We're Drawai.
This clearly says Dragon Warrior.
There we go. All right.
I assumed if there's a How is there not a Drawwa?
Drawway.
A Drawa sounds like, well, there's
Drawquay.
Drawquay.
It'd
Yeah.
be Drawway.
Drawway, yeah. A Drawquay kind of sounds like a Star Wars character. Like I met Drawquay.
They just have user reviews for Dragon Warrior 3 up here. It's quotes from like Jay Johnson in Kansas City, Missouri.
There we go.
It says Dragon Warrior 1 and 2 are my 2 favorite games so far. I enjoy going home and delving into fantasy after a hard day's work.
Dragon Warrior 3 is a real good game. That's the game that broke through in Japan, the one that made Dragon Quest.
That one?
Yeah, 3 is the one that really like cemented Dragon Quest as a cultural legacy.
There's a preview for a Konami NES game called Nightshade. I've never heard of this
Nightshade.
game.
Yeah, that's a little adventure guy. You're a little guy in a trench coat,
Yeah,
and it's kind of
but
like
I'd
a
never
graphical
heard-
adventure. It's fun.
I had never heard of that game.
Yeah.
We're gonna jump.
Crummy Star Trek game.
Oh, I kind of like that game.
Which Star Trek?
There was
It's
a
called Star
bunch of
Trek?
crummy
Yeah, it was
Star
a-
Trek games.
There are a bunch of bad ones. I agree.
Yeah.
But you're talking about the one where the NES one?
Yeah, which is the 25th anniversary.
Yeah,
one.
I kind of like that one.
Yeah.
Here it is, Fist of the North Star, which we mentioned last week. A game series I've never played. I just know because of things like this.
You punch people and they explode.
Yeah, I mean that sounds pretty cool.
We were saying last week, maybe the coolest name for a game.
Fist of the North Star.
Good.
Yeah,
Do you think it's cooler than Go-Go Tank? Because here's an ad for Go-Go Tank, and it says, fulfill your mission. This is a Game Boy game. Fulfill your mission in helping the tank reach its goal. It's nonstop scrambling fun with the most unique game ever.
Go-Go Tank. I have not played Go-Go Tank.
Most unique.
It says it right there.
Well,
It's
you
the
would
most
remember it
unique
had you
game
played it.
ever.
Who made it?
Because-
Who is Go-Go Tank?
You could not possibly confuse it with
Electro
any other game.
Brain.
Oh, that's my band. That's not a game company.
The game company is Electro Brain. Electro Brain.
And there's no screenshot?
Nope.
nope,
This
just,
game-
That's
just
Game
some
Boy
really bad art.
This game come out?
I don't know.
It's Go, exclamation point, Go, exclamation point, tank.
Wow.
Most unique game ever.
And it's a Game Boy game. That's like, we need to ask Jeremy about that because he's playing them all.
And now this part's confusing. There's a multi-page feature called Behind the Scenes at Hudson Soft, converting games for the American market.
Oh.
The article has no byline, and it's just a fluff piece about Hudson Soft.
Localization.
Yeah.
Does it have a special advertising section?
Nope, it doesn't have any indication about
It
that.
hurts my heart that Konami bought Hudson and then decided they don't exist.
The first line of this article is, where do video games come from? And I want you to remember that.
Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the answer.
But I like this. They talk about the difference between Japanese tastes and American tastes. I'll read here an excerpt of this here. Like Japanese company names, Americans have an easy time detecting a Japanese game. The artwork is very often an immediate giveaway. Blah, blah, blah. There are some major differences, however, in the acceptance of game art and animations that Americans would find distasteful or irrelevant. For instance, as Hudson Soft of Japan
nonsense.
prepares NEC's Bonk 2 for the American market, many of the images will most certainly be changed for the US gamer. Gone will be Bonk blowing kisses to the beasts, as will cosmetic changes in Bonk's appearance to make him more American looking.
You know what? I'm glad they took that stuff out. As an American,
As someone
It's like putting angry eyebrows on
someone who
Kirby
is-
box art.
takes a hard stance against bestiality. Yeah, I'm glad Bonk is not blowing kisses to the beasts.
You know what? If Bonk wants to kiss a dinosaur, I think that's Bonk's prerogative.
But they do things like
No.
way
Consent is
back,
involved here.
you know, in the 80s, or games like, Ninja Gaiden, that, Japanese games had a willingness in their animations to, like, stun lock characters or have them be locked into knockdown animations and stuff that, like, wasn't as common in American games. And you can trace that forward now 30, 40 years to, like, Dark Souls, right?
Yeah.
Like, there are, like, differences in, like, the level of power that they want the player to feel from Eastern versus Western games.
it's a bad
like that.
layout.
That brings us to the cover story on Terminator 2. It says LJN brings
boy.
the Terminator
Here we go.
to the Nintendo. And the first line of this article is, where do video games come from?
Where did it
That's why I
come from?
remembered it from before.
Wow.
They opened 2 articles with that line.
And that's why one doesn't
Where-
have a byline?
I mean, yeah, maybe.
That game is so bad.
This Terminator, well, they devoted many pages to it.
That game is really terrible.
We'll jump ahead. We're almost finished with this issue.
Wow. Wait, I saw Ninja Gaiden for a second there. What was
Yeah.
Here's an ad for Electronic Gaming Weekly,
Whoa.
which is a hotline you can call.
Okay, so you listen to the magazine.
Yeah.
that? Can we dial the number?
Well, it's a 900 number.
It's almost certainly something.
I'm
It says
willing
only
to pay.
$1 per minute, but you can get like what did you hear in 1991 when you called this number? Who was reading you the magazine over the phone?
I'll turn speaker and hold this up to the mic right
do
now.
it.
Very worried about
All right,
what
let's
will
do it.
happen if
Are we going to do it?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, I mean-
here we go.
So Jared can read it.
You're
right,
gonna
hold
get
on.
the
Turn it on.
number's probably in use just by someone else.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
we're
what
all 1-900 number.
We can censor it if there's
All
a
right,
problem.
Here we go.
Sure.
So what's that number?
1-900.
900. Oh, whoa.
You dialing 911.
You don't.
Whoa! It got mad at me when I tried to do that.
See, the phone doesn't.
Can
want
you
to
not do 900s maybe?
I don't know. I'm finding out. So,
1-900-740-7722.
okay, here we go.
Dial along at home.
Electronic Gaming Weekly.
Is unavailable. Please contact customer care for assistance.
The number has been restricted.
CA12065.
All right.
That's very disappointing.
It's hard to believe that Electronic Gaming Weekly is not still in operation.
That was GameScoop's Al Capone vault moment right there.
I'm really sad about that. I was really hoping it would still be on.
What I really want to talk about? Oh yeah, Bonk 2 for NES. This is how this preview of Bonk 2 from NEC for the
If you
TurboGrafx.
recorded this, people could just call you, and then they could find out about Bonk 2.
I know.
Should we set up a GameScoop 1-900
Let's
number
set
where you could just call and then the show plays?
We'll set up GameScoop Weekly.
I like that.
What's
GameScoop
the worst possible way we could deliver GameScoop to people?
It could just play the podcast because it's already weekly.
Let's
so
burn
it's
it onto a
perfect.
CD and then mail it to people.
I think you put a landline on
collector's CD.
on Dornbush's desk and just make him answer every time.
I hope this
rings.
preview opens with, "Where do video games come from?"
Yeah.
This preview starts out with, "What are you looking at, butthead?" And that's actually kind of clever because that's what Bonk does. How right?
But are they evoking the spirit of Back to the Future there?
Yes.
Yeah. Well.
Poor readers.
But then they take the joke a little too far. It continues, "That's right, I said butthead. That is exactly what everybody's favorite caveman turns into, a butthead.
Yeah, we
the
get it.
programmers at NEC certainly aren't buttheads, however. As Bonk's Revenge pumps out sharper graphics, cleaner sound, blah, blah, blah."
I feel so much better about my vocation now.
Explain the joke. That's what you always need to do to any great show.
Yeah, exactly.
And finally, as we close this issue of EGM, on the back, if Sam will turn his attention to us, on the back,
We're over time, so I'm telling people that I'm going to be late to stuff.
we find an ad for Burger Time Deluxe on Game Boy.
oh my!
Game I'm not even really very familiar with.
This seems like a Sam game. Sam, do you have anything to say about Burger Time Deluxe?
I've never played Burger Time Deluxe,
I really like Burger Time.
but I know what happens when you turn a hamburger into a deluxe burger. You add tomatoes and stuff.
And bacon,
Mayonnaise,
Bacon.
lettuce, tomato, pickle, onion.
Yeah, so
Bacon
one,
too, right, for
One would
deluxe
assume
usually?
it kind of looks like the
Bacon's very,
the
like,
Donkey
Western
Kong '94 of
Barbecue
Burger
sauce.
Time.
Yeah,
films.
I mean, if that were true, that would be the best Burger Time.
A standard burger is ketchup, mustard, pickle, onion. Deluxe is mayonnaise, lettuce, tomato, pickle, onion.
I'm a purist. I just like cheese, onion, and a tiny bit of ketchup, maybe.
Oh no, you dip the cheeseburger in the ketchup.
That's good too. Yeah,
It's cool that
Although I
dating
can't have
every
ketchup.
bite.
I can't have ketchup.
Everybody
anymore.
gets dipped in the ketchup. And that brings us to Video Game 20 Questions. Our suggestion this week comes from Justin in Wilmington,
North Carolina. That's right.
North Carolina. And I didn't even pick these because Jared was going to be on the
Is it
show.
Ribbit King?
No.
Look at all this
not-
Carolina goodness.
And I won't even count that question.
Thank you.
So let the questioning begin.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Where do video games come from?
We'll tell you when you're older.
Well, when a mama video game and a papa video game love
I
each
have to
other
phrase that
very
in a
much.
yes or no question, right?
Does your character wear a hat?
It's unclear because you don't see your character. However, I would assume there would be some sort of covering over your head.
Hey,
Ooh,
could this game have appeared in the July 1991 issue of Electronic Gaming Monthly?
Are you asking if it's possible that
Yeah,
it could
is
have,
it
or
possible?
was it likely?
Is it
Is
possible?
it possible?
It's possible, yes.
Came out before
All right.
July
Right.
1991.
There we go. All right. And it could have appeared, but not likely. Okay, so you can't see your character's head, and you're wearing something to cover, most likely. So maybe a space helmet or something like that.
I think
Sounds
we're
like
ready
Space
to guess.
Invaders.
Let's see. Is your protagonist piloting something in this game?
Yes.
Okay, so you're like in a ship or a car or something like that.
Did this appear in the arcades?
Yes.
Okay. There we
Is
go.
this a military themed game?
Not overtly.
Is this pre 1983?
No.
That was gonna be yeah.
Okay. Why pre-83?
Pre post crash. I mean,
Oh, that makes
like there's
sense.
very few arcade games after that.
Yeah, I like that.
Centipede and all that.
Okay, so you're piloting
That's the heyday.
something. It's not overtly military, and it's post 83.
Vindicators,
I'd love to believe that. That'd be amazing.
probably wearing a
Blaster
helmet.
Master.
Are you?
Yeah,
Are
that wasn't
you,
in arcades though,
Yeah, good point.
but it's good.
Are you piloting a flying vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. So it's either a spaceship or a plane or a helicopter or something like that.
Is this a space-themed game?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
It's not 1942. That would have been military.
That's why you'd be wearing a helmet.
Post 83, pre 81 could be a shmup.
That's almost certain.
It's not
Is this a shmup?
Pre-91.
Pre 91, I mean, sorry.
I mean, yes, unless you're like you have a special definition of like how many bullets need to be on screen.
No, I just think it
Then
would
yes.
mean like a ship moving around and shooting other spaceships.
Is this vertically scrolling?
Sometimes.
Whoa!
Sounds like Life Force.
Life Force Salamander.
Stinger.
Stinger's
Is this a Konami game?
Yes.
I'll tell you one thing. It's not our type.
Well,
It could be Crisis Force. It could be.
whoa.
could be-
Is that a
almost-
Konami game?
Yeah, it's a Konami.
It's almost certainly Life Force.
It's
Yeah.
Or Life Force or Salamander.
Is this game itself a sequel?
Yes.
could be?
Because it's so rare that we get sequels. And then the thing is that you have Salamander and Life Force.
Was this game ported in the United States to the Nintendo Entertainment System?
Yes.
Okay. So,
I think we know who the game is.
does this game?
Oh,
at
does it
one-
have dragons on the cover?
Clarification.
Yeah.
Life Force has dragons on the cover.
We might need Casey to rule in on whether or not that actually counts as a
Oh,
dragon.
that's a
or
good
not.
point. It's more of like a
Because-
Chinese
It's a
style
salamander.
dragon.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah,
Claim-
No,
how-
it's not.
Does this game
mean-
feature a prominent stage?
what are you
What?
saying?
Does this game feature a prominent stage? A stage where you're flying along flames
hell is-
and prominences come flying around you, and it's called
What are
the
you
prominent
talking-
stage.
What are you talking about?
What are prominence?
Prominences are those
Did you
big
have this in a
solar
dream?
flares. No, that's what those are called.
That's a made-up word.
No, it's
Why don't you just call them
it's a
solar
scientific
flares?
word that's because they're called prominences in the game. The manual calls it the prominent stage.
Yeah, but
Is
the
this
manual-
Life Force?
The manual also
Yes.
says
All
that.
All right, let's get out of here.
The manual Life Force says it's the
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
manuals aren't canon.
prominent. Yeah, but those are actually called prominences in astronomy.
All right.
Yes, it is Life Force.
Excellent, love that game.
Came to the arcades a couple years before it made it to the NES. I didn't know if that would trip you up or not.
Yeah, it has a weird lineage, like the Salamander Life Force crossover with Gradius. They're all kind of-
Salamander-
Also, Life Force still good.
yeah. It's a
Oh,
good
Life
game.
Force is great.
Even better than Life Force. It's Japan-only sequel, Crisis Force, which is the best shooter on the NES/Famicom.
But and then Life Force counts as Gradius 2, right? Because then they just made Gradius 3 for Super Nintendo.
Well, Gradius 2.
like columns.
No, Gradius 2 is is an arcade game that was ported to the Famicom, but not the NES.
You guys are right. It's not a dragon,
yeah.
but it's not a salamander. It's a scary snake.
Snake.
It's just a
It's like
snake.
scary
It doesn't
snake.
have any arms or anything. That snake is amazing.
Yeah.
Fun fact: at the end
You
of
asked
the
me what
game,
my favorite NES box art. Maybe that's it.
at the end of the game, you can fight that snake, but if you don't destroy it, if you choose not to kill it, you can fly right by it, and it makes you play the whole game over.
No, I thought the snake was.
That's
That's,
not a good
true
deal.
about the final boss, but I thought the snake was just coming out of the.
made
He's
a
just
mistake.
going in a
The
circle.
sun.
Around,
Yeah.
He's going around that thing at the end.
Okay.
Like, yeah, unless I'm remembering right.
That is the Life Force.
Yeah. Also, that game features an airplane named after Lord British, like
Yeah,
Richard
and then
Garriott.
sometimes it's translated as Road British.
Road British, yeah, which is amazing. But no kidding. Like, I know Japanese game chauvinism can be very silly, but Crisis Force is one of those games that didn't come to the United States. That's so dope. It's great. If you ever get a chance to play it, do. It's a standout NES game.
Did we ever do a Let's Play about that?
No, we did Rekka, which is an incredible.
So,
shooter.
Jared, we've gotten through this whole episode, and you haven't mentioned once Joy Mecha Fight.
I know.
And Joy Mecha Fight is in the news.
Joy Mecha Fight is in the news. I can't
know if
believe
it's really in the
Sukapon is in
news.
Smash Brothers. He's only an assist trophy.
Like,
But at this point, I'm like a Sonic fan. I'll take what I can get.
he's an assist trophy like Waluigi.
Yeah, Waluigi. The difference is that Waluigi blows and Sukapon is
Wow.
awesome. So that's
South Carolina, you're on notice.
Welcome back, Jared.
Waluigi, you are now on notice.
yeah, Sukapon is Nintendo's original fighting game character. He's so great and delightful and artistically interesting. I wish he were a real
It's like
fighter.
6 dots. What do you mean it's artistically?
Have you ever played? You played Joy Mech Fight?
Yes,
right?
you forced me to play Joy Mecha Fight
It's
several
so
times.
good.
I know it's good.
Yeah, and he's so well animated and beautiful. He has a lot of 36 fighters on an NES fighting game, 28 original movesets.
Yeah.
Love that game. So good.
Yeah, all right. Assist trophy and
I got real
Super
excited.
Smash
Damon.
Brothers Ultimate. That's okay. We love you, Jared. That's why we love you, Jared. Jared, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure being here, Damon. It was really sweet of you to ask me on. I never feel more at home than I do here at this desk with
You
y'all.
should just move in here then.
Well, I mean, I practically have, it
Yeah,
seems.
that's
But
nice.
yeah, I'd be very happy to. And thank you for allowing me to obnoxiously plug my stuff.
Not at all.
Sweet of you.
Not at all.
Look at
Next
me.
week, dear listeners, next week is a bye week for us. Everybody, if you're here in the U.S., enjoy. Hopefully, you'll have a day off.
Summer break.
Woo!
Goop.
Swallow a whole hot dog for me. But we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Is that a Burger Time joke?
I don't think you swallow any hot dog in Burger Time.
Yeah, you just
do?
crush them under burgers.
Well, sometimes the hot dogs catch you.
Yeah,
That's true.
The hot dogs
You put
swallow
salt
you
on
whole.
them.
and we don't know what happens
In
after
Soviet
that.
Russia,
The camera cuts.
hot dog eats you.
That was one of my favorite IGN moments. Y'all were playing Burger Time and you made some kind of joke about the nightmare of being chased by giant wieners. And somebody just very nonchalant wrote in the comments and they said, for some people, being chased by a giant wiener is a good dream. And they had a very good point.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that.
It's important. Remember, you can always reach us at the email address, gamescoop@ign.com. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Jared. My name is Damon. This is IGN Gamescoop, and we're out.